Alright, I'm all packed up and headed out to West vs. Zombies, just waiting for Walcom to show up. We're road tripping together because I got a 12-and-a-half-hour drive. We're going to do 6 hours tonight, visit the gnome, my mother, in Idaho, and then do the other 6.5 hours to Bozeman the next morning. We both get to play NPCs. We're kind of like celebrity guests, which just weirds me out. We get to play the Black Knights, which are NPCs. We'll be mercenaries. We can be hired by both sides. We're not entirely sure what we're going to be doing, but we're going to have fun no matter what. Hopefully I'll get good footage. Hopefully I'll get any footage. And then there'll be, of course, the usual ramblings afterwards that you're just going to have to deal with. So, onward!
Well, we're here in scenic Kamei on our way to WVZ. Neither of us are currently human. He's not even human-shaped at the moment. I've had orange juice and a donut, so I'm almost human, and we're about to drive through the Rocky Mountains, so see you on the far side. Any words of wisdom, Walcom? Inspiring.
No. This is not a hotel that I'm staying at here at WVZ. This is the dorm they've set us up in. And it is, in fact, nicer than some hotels I've been in. The place looks like it was assembled from a kit this morning. And no, the rooms aren't air-conditioned, but they provide a box fan in every room. This place is gorgeous. Elevators. It does have communal bathrooms, but it's a dorm, so, you know, that's considered par for the course. Seriously. I wish the dorms were this nice when I was in college. No, this is not a fancy restaurant. This is the dining hall for the campus. All you can eat for $11. You're also stunned. I am not impressed. I'm hit. Oh God. Blam. For the fallen. Here we are at WVZ, breaking for lunch. Zombies are growing fast. We had a rough mission, lost a lot of humans, but luckily we've still got me. But we'll see how long that lasts. I've currently been contracted by the humans. Let's go take a look at Game Ops. Game Ops is crawling with darts that are available for anybody, as well as fabulous prizes, which is one of the cool things about this. If you complete missions or if zombies tag humans, there are all ways that you can get tickets.
Yes, go ahead.
You get win tickets for doing little mini missions, for large missions, for stunning zombies, for tagging humans, and then you can redeem them for prizes. They've got darts, magazines, blasters. They've got big prizes. This Caliburn is one of the big prizes. They also gave away Cetas for the PvP stuff, and they gave away all sorts of blasters. I think they've still got a few down here. It's absolutely fabulous. It is, without a doubt, the coolest HVZ I have ever been involved in. They got plenty of bandanas for people, plenty of darts lying around. A nice large safe zone for when you're, in between missions or taking a break, getting water. And then a huge campus, beautiful campus. Absolutely perfect weather. It hasn't broken, what, 75?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, it's gorgeous. Partly cloudy. No, it rains Friday a little bit.
It did, and then Saturday and Sunday's been.
And then absolutely gorgeous. Slight breeze. You could not ask for better weather. And beautiful location. Excellent game. The people running the game, absolutely fantastic. All right, I'm probably going to toy with the idea of getting lunch. And then going to get tagged.
Sorry, welcome. I wish I. All right, now there. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Let's snap into a Slim Jim.
Bring me some zombies.
Let's make them get teared.
Want to bring out the tears in them. Here's down.
Right down here, pointed up on my front. I'm down. He's down. Coming in! Blue! Coming in! Got him! Got him! Coming in! Coming in!
Oh, headshot!
Almost! Coming in!
So this is the view here in Bozeman. Mountains all the way around. Nah, you can't. Well, no, you can see them there in the distance.
No, it's absolutely beautiful.
Yes, absolutely gorgeous here. We are finally on our way home. Oh God, why? Alright. Welcome and I are in the original Goodwill that I started all of my nerfing in, here in Lewiston, Idaho. So all of you who are shocked that I have such good Goodwills, I did not used to. We have a ubiquitous Maverick. One, was that a Proton?
Yep.
And a squirt gun. And that's about it. My humble beginnings. Look how far I've come. Let's get out of here. I have survived. I have returned. Now for the rambling. I have been involved in a great many HVZs. I did 2 games at U of I did more games at WSU than I can even remember. I've done WWU. I've done Evergreen. I've done personal events that I ran. I've done HVZ at Nerf Wars that we've held. And this was by far the best HVZ that I have ever been involved in. It was the first day's game was very different than any game I've ever seen. Rather than having, all of the humans moving around in a big mob going on big missions like you usually see at the ones that I'm used to for the missions, they ran it where they were broken up into small groups, minimum of 8 humans, and they were running mini quests. They had over 100 different little quests that were all. Some of them were silly, some of them were serious, some of them were ridiculous and goofy. Some were designed to be very hard, some were designed to be super easy, some were designed for groups of, organized, professional, kind of veteran players. Others were designed for groups of small children. And so they were able to balance things and make the game, you could ask for a certain kind of mission, or they would give you a mission that fit your group type. And there was very few zombies to start with, so it was a slow build-up as far as the horde went, so small groups weren't likely to get picked off. They also had a 2-stun limit on zombies. A zombie could only stun 2 humans, and then that zombie was stunned. So one zombie couldn't sneak up behind a group of 8 humans and wipe them all out. You could only get 2 of them. And so the horde didn't grow terribly quickly throughout the first day. It grew, but never to the point where small groups were getting easily picked off by large hordes of zombies. And it also helped that the zombies had missions just like the humans did, because you could still earn tickets. There were still missions that got you tickets. You could pick up darts to get tickets. When you tagged humans, you got tickets. If you stunned a Black Knight, you got tickets. And so just because you'd gotten turned into a zombie didn't mean you were suddenly out of the prize pool, because that's how you earned the prizes, is you got tickets. You could turn them in directly for tickets to buy magazines or darts or 3D printed kits and stuff. You could enter for raffles to get the big prizes. You could hoard them to go for the big prize right at the end. And so zombies could do that as well. So you were never out of the prize game. And it meant that the zombies had other things to focus on than wiping out the humans. Now, that was still obviously the big goal, and there were players who that was their sole purpose, was to hunt humans. And because there was a large safe area, you could play as much or as little as you wanted. If you had a lot of small kids, or you had, health problems or injuries or whatever, you could go to the safe zone near the main game ops and hang out, get a drink, rest, sit in the shade, or just sit and watch the game if that's what you wanted to do, instead of being forced to be part of, a huge group that's going around that may be moving faster than you're comfortable with or whatever. But you could also just get absolutely stuck in. You and your group of friends could go as, as an organized squad and just run missions all day and rack up the prizes. Or if you got turned, you and your friends could become an organized group of zombies that hunted the groups. I don't think I saw that happen very often, but it's something that could happen, as the game expands. And that's the nice thing about it. The way they set it up, it could expand as long as you had a large enough campus, and this campus was huge. I only saw really a fraction of it, but there was gameplay all over it, which is why it was kind of hard to tell how many people were there. You probably only ever saw 20 or 30 people at any one time, but there were 100 people in play because they were spread out throughout the entire campus. And so if you had a much larger group of people, you would just increase the minimum size or the maximum size of the human groups, and maybe increase the OZs, or it could very easily scale. The people who were running it knew what they were doing as far as keeping the game interesting. And that is how the game ran up until the dinner. Then after dinner, they did a more traditional large mission with everybody that was left, which was about half the people were zombies, maybe less than that. But they, the whole group had to go here and do this mission, or find this person, and then they needed to find something to give to that person, and then they had to go here and they wanted to talk to another person, and then you had to go here and hold this point and keep that NPC alive for so long, which they ended up not being able to do. Tyr ended up being a failure, and I went to get a backup weapon, and just as I got back, I saw the objective get killed. If I'd hustled, I might have made it in time, but I wasn't being paid enough to run. But it was really well done that first day. It kept it interesting. Everybody had fun. You played as much as you wanted, and there were fabulous prizes. And they weren't minor prizes. I mean, we're talking about good Nerf blasters. There were Gen Urso blasters. The main prize was a Caliburn. There were Monkey Mod kits, the aluminum hammershot cylinders, and all sorts of upgrade kits, and orange modwork kits, and 3D printed kits, and blasters, and darts, and magazines, and for the PvP, that was the other thing. As the day before, Walcom and I got there late, and so we missed BlasterCon, which is like FoamCon, and we also missed the PvP games, which were they had a five-man fast flag, and they had a 3-man game. I didn't know the details because I wasn't going to participate anyway. But the winners of those got Cetas, so it wasn't minor prizes that they were doling out. They were serious stuff, and then day 2 wasn't run by those people. It was actually run by the campus's club. And so it was a little bit more of a traditional HVZ. There were 3 major missions that were going on at once that the humans needed to succeed in for various purposes to get various bonuses or what have you. And then it just came down to a last stand. A lot of the really good players unfortunately got tagged during those missions, and so there weren't as many veteran players left for the last stand, and Tyr ended up failing early on in the last stand, which was sad, but not the worst. I then got to go to my auto strifes and held on, and the last human standing got a special prize. So that was how that worked. Rather than trying, it was a last stand. We knew we went until everyone was tagged, and then the last human got a really cool prize. The other thing that the zombies could do with their tickets, is, in addition to buying blasters or darts or magazines or whatever, they could pool their tickets and lower their stun time. So it started with a 10-minute stun time, which again kept the game from, the horde from growing too quickly. But every time they managed to pool their resources enough, they could lower it by 2 minutes. So by the end of the game, they were down to a 2-minute stun timer, and then they actually were able to buy the bike racks as spawn points. And there were boatloads of bike racks on this campus. They were everywhere, and so in one of the missions, once those got unlocked, the humans had to take this really winding route all the way around. I mean, it was it had to have been 4 or 5 times longer than the shortest route, but the shortest route went right through a bottleneck full of bike racks, and nobody would have made it through. So it was a lot of fun. They had plenty of mods who knew what they were doing. It was organized. Everyone had something to play. It was an absolute blast. I wish I could have gotten to the Blaster Con and seen a little bit more of that, because there was trading and stuff like that, and seeing other people's builds. That is something that I hope gets expanded in the future. It wasn't, from what I understood, it wasn't quite as big. There weren't as, because Walcom and I were kind of I think the only major YouTubers that were able to go to this one. There may have been others, and I apologize if I don't know who you are. I'm a schmuck. We know this. And we didn't get there until we were like 5 minutes before they had to close, because travel. But I understand it was also just a lot of fun seeing all the different builds that people had. They had their FPS cap a little bit higher. I think they set it at maximum was 150. For the PvP stuff, there practically wasn't a cap. It was like 200 or something for some of it, and then there were lower categories for lower stuff, and then I think they had different categories for the game. If it was a 150 to 120, then you were only supposed to shoot people from a certain distance, and if it was less than that, then you could shoot them at any distance. I don't know the exact details. All of my blasters were under the 120 limit, so it didn't really matter. But there were FDLs, and there were high-powered strifes, and there were all sorts of really cool blasters there, and so it was really cool to see some of the loadouts that people brought, just festooned with 22-round magazines. It was fantastic. And a lot of fun was had. It was absolutely magnificent campus for it. Not too hilly. There were some hills, but nothing terrible, not like at WSU where everything is built on a flippin' mountain. The weather was absolutely perfect. The accommodations were amazing. There were a lot of people who were concerned about that, who were worried that, that the hotels were going to be lousy or the dorms weren't air conditioned. Turns out they were temperature controlled. It was actually kind of cold at night. Plus, they actually gave you box fans. Temperature never broke 75 for the Saturday and Sunday. It rained on the PvP stuff for a little bit, but it lightened up enough that they were able to actually hold the events. So absolutely fantastic. They are potentially looking for different locations, but they're also definitely looking for a different weekend. That was one of the tough things, is being a week after End War was a serious detriment, because a lot of people couldn't do both events. I came here right after Afterworlds, and I was barely able to drag myself to it. But I'm absolutely glad that I did, because I had an absolute blast. I got to play a Black Knight, got to play a Mercenary, got hired by both sides, ran amok, had a lot of fun. Had some fun, friendly rivalries with various humans who ambushed me and socked me, and then I got to hunt them as zombies, and it was just loads of fun. Everybody there was awesome, and we got to hang out with them. We had pizza parties and donut breakfasts, and just hung out and told stories, and it was absolute fabulous time. I definitely want to get more involved next year. This one I was supposed to be more involved and just never managed to get around to it because of life and being a schmuck. But I definitely hope to be more involved next year. I'm helping scout some potential really cool locations. They may not work out, but there are some that I think would be absolutely amazing locations. The kind of gameplay you could do in some of those sites would be beyond anything we've ever seen, as opposed to just running around a campus. So we will see where that goes. Thank you, everybody who was involved. Thank you so much. I had such a good time. Definitely the best HVC I have ever participated in and ever watched. I mean, the way they set it up so that everybody had exactly as much fun as they wanted to and could still be involved in the prizes no matter what happened was just brilliantly designed. So that is my take. Let's go to the montage, and then there will be some stuff after the credits. So enjoy. Thanks again, and thanks for watching. So I'm here at West vs. Zombies, and I've received fan mail, a care package. Inside this box of wondrous lies over 45 individual items of nerdy and pop culture goodness. I apologize for the delay, but happy birthday! Super late. Yeah, how long have you been holding on to this?
Over a year and a half. I was supposed to give it to you at Enwar, and you didn't go. So, yeah.
Neat.
Yes.
All right, well, he's going to act as my cameraman. He's got this neat phone mount for his gun, his strife, so we're going to mount that in there. All right. So the first thing he gave me were a bunch of new in tragic box demolishers rockets. They were apparently clearanced and the tape fell apart, but they've never been sniffed. So that is awesome because I like rockets. All right. Let's check out this slag. Oh, good lord.
Told you I had a pile of stuff.
Where?
Well, now you have a new hex bug.
We'll start in the corner. We have what appears to be a gold
It's Homer Simpson, isn't it?
Homer Simpson Buddha. I'm fairly certain this is blasphemous for about a quarter of the planet. That's weird. Alright, we have what a Hot Wheels car? Not officially Hot Wheels, apparently. But we have the Impala from Supernatural, which I think I made it to like the 5th season of Supernatural, and then I just couldn't take it anymore because they were less prepared and less organized than the Scooby Gang, and I couldn't take it. Camp Crystal Lake. Sweet. Ears. Daryl Walker's ear necklace. I actually have plans to do, I was going to do it for this event and I forgot. I have an entire drawer of Nerf triggers. And I was going to make a Nerf trigger necklace, like a necklace of ears. Harry Potter, platform 9 3/4. What is it?
Well, now you're just giving him loot crate stuff, aren't you?
Pretty much.
I told him I had a pile of loot crate stuff that was piling up, and I asked him if he wanted it.
Apparently I got a zombie.
How appropriate.
Indeed.
But they're more
Yeah, it looks like
dioramas.
it looks like a proper Lego base plate. Like it's probably compatible with Lego.
They got like
They have a
dioramas.
ridiculously large head. It's a paper wallet? Ah, a Street Fighter headband.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So there's
I'm a Dragon Ball. The Spock air freshener is vanilla. Team Fortress 2 buttons. Oh, I got a Mockingjay pin. It never ends. Aha! Triforce sweat bracelet. Ow.
that's cool. I'll have to go check that out. It's cool.
I like it. Leatherface? Chain, yep, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's the Terminator Control brain chip.
That was on my keyring for a very long time.
That is pretty cool. More Terminator stuff! At Afterworld, I pretty much played a Terminator, so that was awesome. I'm guessing a drinking horn?
I'm jelly.
Check that out. Oh, is this ice?
Yep.
Yes! I have Death Stars that somebody gave me, and now
What is that?
a 20-sided dice ice or Jello mold. A Darth Vader die-cast keychain. Darth Vader's the best. Is it another wallet?
Yeah, there's a couple of those paper wallets.
Yeah. Oh. Coming with cash. I'm rich. Yes. I was looking at it going, well, I wonder what that is.
He hasn't got to ever admit that is the coolest thing ever.
And that came out way before the movie, too. That's the cool thing.
That, my friend, is
It will
the
go
cool
well
thing.
with my tactical apron.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
That is cool. I first thought I was like, that looks like just a really cheesy glove, and then when I got closer, I'm like, is that an oven mitt?
It is.
Yes!
Dude, that is like the gold mine in that box.
A hex bug. I've actually been to their facility. We went to it when we were in Dallas for Jared's Epic Nerf War. We got to go see where all their R&D is done. We got to see all their new prototype stuff, and we were sworn to secrecy. Oh, I'm afeared. This is going to be a 3PO GIMP mask, isn't it? It's good to be the king. apparently have Freddy Krueger chopsticks. How are you actually supposed to eat with them?
Are you?
I guess you could just do that.
Yeah, you could just do that.
But that's cheating.
Yeah, so that's what it's for all the people who don't know how to use chopsticks who got Loot Crate.
Fair enough. And what do we have here? Regrettable Supervillains. Featuring the 50 strangest supervillains in the history of comics. A Loot Crate special edition. The Legion of Regrettable Supervillains. From the Golden Age. Babyface and Brother. The Balloon Maker. Black Tarantula. Bloor. Brickbat. Death Battalion. The Dictator. Dr. Dracula. Dr. Voodoo. Fang. That is neat. Reminds me of something my friend came up with, which was Captain Apathy and the So What Brigade, which is like the X-Men, but they have all the really stupid powers that like aren't like lasers out of your eyes. Like, yes, I can turn my hair pink on alternate Thursdays. Is that useful? No. Captain Apathy's ability is he can make you apathetic to anything. So, you know, somebody's gonna rob the bank and he just pokes you and something like, you know, I don't care anymore. The problem is it affects him all of the time. So something we all came up with. You have to come up with your Captain Apathy superpower. What is your useless superpower? Mine is the ability to summon popcorn in comedic situations. Like somebody just says to his girlfriend, you're like, just calm down, babe. And you're like, boom, popcorn. No, go on. Yeah. The downside is that eventually the popcorn appears when you know something bad's about to happen. Like, there's about to be a car accident.
Popcorn.
Now suddenly have become a emote from Destiny 2.
Yep.
All right, let's keep going. What do we got here? We've got Ratchet and Clank.
It's his wrench.
Oh, it's a pen.
Oh, it's a pen.
Oh,
Makes
that's cool.
better.
That's awesome. I have the.
Would you like the Ratchet and Clank pen?
Of course. Are you kidding me?
I got a plushy face hugger. All right. Oh yeah, we do have the Terminator
Yeah.
skull.
No, that's.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really good
Half
too.
scale endoscope.
Is that like those the Funko Pop?
No.
Matrix puzzle. I got a tiny Donatello.
No.
Oh no, that's Michael Leonardo. But
Thank you.
Donatello is my favorite one, so you know, I would. But Leonardo was good too because he dual wielded sword, which is
Space Invaders.
a mini Space Invader vinyl model.
Oh, that is cool.
Oh, that's
That is
awesome.
super cool.
Is it rubbery?
No, not
It'd be
particularly.
better if it lit up. That is probably the second coolest thing.
I mean,
Would you like a Space Invader mini? All right then. You get the Space
Oh, you
Invader.
are so awesome. Thank
yeah, if
you.
you want it to light up, just throw an LED in it.
Yeah, actually, that's not a bad idea. I'll put this on my
I
TV
gave one of
desk.
those to my
Yeah.
nieces.
That is
Painted Woodard figurine. I got the Joker. We have apparently
Lego Batman?
a Lego Batman food container.
Yeah, so when you're
Oh, it's like a cookie jar.
Oh, that's cool.
Sweet. That's getting filled with gummies and going in my Lego room. We have another puzzle. Rick and Morty 300-piece puzzle.
A V6 box.
Anybody here into Rick and Morty?
Oh, dang.
A tiny Fallout bobblehead in the power armor.
Yeah. So
I
they
like
probably
it.
put a little L-
We've got
If you get them shining
the Futurama Planet Express spaceship.
Wow. Heck yeah.
Oh,
That's cool.
That's
That's super cool.
I take it you're into Futurama?
Yeah.
You get this.
You're not?
I think I've seen an episode. We have
Ooh.
Is it Venom or Carnage?
Carnage.
That's what I have.
More of a
Apparently
Venom
he's
fan,
gonna
but we've
Carnage.
got
Apparently he's going to be in
Carnage
the new
Mud.
Venom movie.
That is my official strawberry milk mug.
yeah. The thing is, like, what am I gonna put in
I'm
here?
not joking. Look at. I'll have to send you a picture of my mug. It is stained with strawberry milk.
Now, we've got a deck of Princess Bride playing cards. Awesome.
That's collective. Those are awesome.
Now we take bets of who is what card.
That is
And last but not least, we have Doctor Who stuff, which, for reasons you don't need to know, I despise Doctor Who. So who wants the screwdrivers? Screwdrivers?
They actually work.
You get sonic screwdrivers.
Oh, that's kind of nifty.
I believe it still has the
believe we've
batteries in it.
reached the bottom of this absolutely ridiculous and amazing box.
Yeah, it was worth a year and a half wait, right?
Yeah. I got a crown in it.
I'm not gonna go.
Sir, that was awesome. Thank you very, very much. I don't know what I'm going to do with all this, but I'm going to do stuff with it.
You lost your crown.
Apparently.
Yeah, I was gonna. Ah, there we
The king is dead.
Now you put the face hunter.
It's been a long weekend. That's why he died. Just so you know.
Turn off the camera.